Yo, in this video we will review some knife glove combos as the market is still about $2.5 billion down from the all-time high. So if you were to get a knife glove combo for a discounted price, this might be the time. You never know, it could go down another 2.5 bill, but for the sake of my life, let's not pray for that. We will also take a look at some extremely expensive combos, which we can only dream about getting one day, but let's get started with the first one. The first combo of the day, I think it's a very clean combo and it has a really nice rare animation, which you can see here. So I had to include this knife in the video. The hand grabs are real with the classic knife borrowed forest. It gives a very nice vibe, basically like a green scout forest vibe, and it's very cheap and actually not a half bad combo considering the price of only $111. There is obviously some wear on the gloves and the knife, which is hard to avoid, but on the classic knife you can actually see more of the pattern with a bit of more wear, and that is a nice bonus for some players. Moving on to a cookery knife Crimson Web in field tested with the special gloves Crimson Web in well worn. Even though the cookery is only field tested, it still looks hella clean in my opinion, which is really nice in my opinion, because if you buy a Karambit Crimson Web in field tested, it basically looks like it's been beaten up by 10 Serbian men. And I think the cookery knife has so much value for its price, which is only $86. It is hard to find some clean gloves at this price range though, which is why the Crimson Web gloves aren't as clean, which is very unfortunate, but we do have a fix for that later with some of the other combos. Now we have a very unique combo. The big game gloves I really enjoy. They are sport gloves with a really cool pattern, which goes kinda well with the Huntsman Tiger Tooth. You definitely don't see these gloves much, and in my opinion they are slept on. They also don't scratch as much as other field tested gloves, which adds a lot of value for me. And just a reminder, remember these combos are just my taste, so you might disagree with some of my choices, but let me know about that in the comments. But yeah, as I said, the big game gloves are very unique. I think I can count on one hand how many times I've seen these in the wild, but if I do see these in the wild, I will give them my respect because I think this is a very nice pair of gloves. And the Huntsman just goes very well, also like no scratches on the Huntsman, so it's a clean combo. Next up we have a clean combo with the Paracord Slaughter in Factory New and Scarlet Shamak gloves in field tested. I would advise you to get these gloves with a float under 0.20. Under 0.20 float gloves just make a big difference, but you can save around $50 if you wish to get a normal field tested. But with the under 0.20 float gloves, the combo comes in around $380, which is very cool. I like the Paracord knife a lot. It has some nice rare animations when you pull it out. And I think these gloves complement this knife so much. The black handle matches the black in the Scarlet Shamak, and the same goes for the blade with the red coloring. Not a paracord combo, but this time we are going with a purple theme. The knife is a phase 2 Doppler paracord, currently sitting at around $235. Paired with the driver gloves Imperial plate under 0.20 float. That lower float makes a huge difference, especially on the knuckle, as you can see here. A regular field tested pair sells for around $153, while the pair in this video costs $229. In my opinion, it's well worth paying the extra to get a completely clean looking pair. So you're paying $229 for gloves that looks almost identical to the $323 minimal wear version. You already know the paracord has some really cool animation, and that's a big part of what makes this knife such a solid pick. Later in this video we have combos that goes for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So keep watching if you want to see that. Now we have the skeleton knife, which was very due in this video as it feels super luxurious because of how it looks and it has rare animations. The Omega gloves you should also overpay for the float here. It adds a lot of value as you get a near minimal wear glove but for $200 under the price. I think the black shaft of the skeleton knives works very well with the Omega gloves. If you ask me, skeleton knives are some of the best knives when it comes to looking expensive without being at a crazy price. The combo comes to around $600 and is one of my favorites so far. I really want to get a skeleton knife someday in the future again, and the Tiger Tooth is a very solid choice as there's basically no scratches on it. Now we have our first gem knife, and it's an emerald. Huntsman knife emerald with the sport gloves Nox, worth around 1000 USD. The Nox is one of those gloves where wear actually doesn't ruin the entire glove, so we have it in battle scarred condition, but it's basically a PSA 10. It feels like a crazy bougie combo with all the focus on the emerald knife. The black gloves matches insanely well with the Huntsman black handle. The only downside is that the Huntsman doesn't have rare animations, but at least the pull out animation is so clean. By the way, if you want to see more videos like these, hit the subscribe and notification bell, otherwise YouTube doesn't always push them out. Thank you so much for that. Up next we have the iconic butterfly knife that so many love. As you all probably know, the stim maxing with the butterfly knife is absolutely elite, but it also comes at a hefty price of $1,120. If we compare to the skeleton tiger tooth, I think that one has more value, but hey, we need a 2k USD combo. We also have the new occult gloves. Maybe they aren't so new anymore, but you know what I mean. I feel like the occult gloves are very hard to find a knife that actually works well with, but this does a decent job. The red suede on the glove looks so nice and luxurious. And here we also went with a 0.20 float to make it even cleaner. And it's a pretty common theme. If you want more value for your money on gloves, you need to get a 0.20 float. Now we have another gem knife, the Bayo Ruby, which is coming in at 1780 USD with the slingshot gloves in minimal wear. I would probably choose the Crimson Web or Scarlet Chamark gloves if it was a ruby with a black handle, but because the bayonet has this grayish handle, the colors actually work quite well with the slingshot gloves. This being around a 2600 USD combo doesn't feel too good. I'd much rather go with some of the other combos if I'm completely honest, but if you want to splurge and get some compliments in game, you can sell your used 2004 Honda Civic and buy this set. Our first talent combo of the video, the Black Pearl in CS2 is so purple and this combo is actually quite stunning. I love the purple loadout and this is probably one of my favorites one of the entire video because if you have ball knowledge, this is an insane combo. And you basically never find a Black Pearl in the wild. Some people do though say Black Pearl is just a glorified phase 1, which I can see why, but you gotta also understand you can't get that kind of purple on a phase 1. If you want to save some money, you can also consider not buying FN Imperial plates and just get menwear or even 0.20 filters gloves. They basically look the same at like a third of the price. This combo comes in at around 3600 USD, which is literally insane. I pray someday I can have a combo this expensive. Before the trade up update though, the Talon Black Pearl was actually priced at 4000 USD, so it is still a lot cheaper than it used to be. And if you didn't know, the Talon also has some really nice animations, so it's a dope knife. Moving on to the next gem combo, coming in at around 7.6k USD. We have our first M9 of the video and it's an emerald. So this is basically the Huntsman Emerald combo, but on steroids. We also earn the Nux again, but look at this knife. It basically takes up the entire budget, but goddamn is it clean. The gloves need to be basic sometimes and it just matches so well with the black handle. Also for this combo, you can just get a pair of field tested Nux for almost half the price and nobody would even notice. But yeah, this is an absolute endgame combo. If you have like an insanely expensive combo like this, please post a comment. Tell us what you have and why you bought it. I'm actually very curious to see who has like this kind of expensive a combo. The next combo is the Butterfly Knife Ruby in Factory New and the Specialist Gloves Crimson Kimono Minimal Wear. Now we are really up there and to be honest, it doesn't even look better than many of the other combos. But sometimes money can buy class. And by the way, on the gloves you should go for some decent red coloring, which is rarer, but it makes the combo look cleaner. This combo comes in at around 13.3k USD, which once again is insane, but we do have even more expensive combos coming up. 10.3k USD for a knife I think is just ridiculous, but the knife is absolutely stunning to be honest, but I would never in my life pay 13.3k for this. Yet another butterfly combo, as those are the most expensive gem knives. Butterfly Black Pearl with Pandora boxes in fact new. We're really getting up there where it doesn't even make sense. I know we have been at that point for a while now, but imagine people actually paying 25k for these gloves when you can buy a menwear pair for 5k. It's honestly crazy, but here we are. If you ever catch me with a combo like this, just know I hit the lottery and I'm changing up on all the day ones. Also, this is one of those combos where the gloves are way more expensive than the knife, just because it's so rare to hit gloves in fact new, so that's a lot of money, but yeah, a normal person will just get the menwears. Last combo of the day, we have the most expensive item in the game with rumors of offers up to $1.5 million being declined. But this was of course before the recent market crashes, so who knows, maybe he will accept the $500 I have saved up. I haven't been able to get in contact with the owner though, so maybe someone from this video can hit him up and say I have $500 with his name on them. But yeah, a Karambit for $1 to $2 million is so out of this world, but it is why we love skins in this game. The rarity factor makes it so cool. I also want to say, when you inspect this knife, it looks absolutely dog shit, so you're basically stuck with a mansion in your Steam inventory where you can never hit the F key. Imagine that. I just want to mention I also have a Discord where you can share your combos in, so please go ahead and join that. Other than that, consider liking, subscribing, turning the bell on so I can see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.